We are reviewing the Orville season 3, episode 10, the season finale, or even perhaps the series finale, which I'm sure we're going to discuss that later. But before we do, we want to talk about the amazing episode, because to me, this was an absolute return to form for the Orville, and they really came back strong. And there was no big space battles. There was no life-threatening. It was just a really insanely fun episode of the Orville that reminded me of how really fun and hilarious the Orville can be. And I adored this episode so much.
Yeah, this episode was Seth saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a season 4.
Right.
Because this episode it had a lot of the things we needed to see. It had the return of Alara. It had a lot of closing of things, Claire and Isaac getting married, a lot of things that we needed to see to kind of finalize the show, as well as giving us that last message for humanity, which I tend to agree with. And so it was almost, in a way, it was almost a little slow, and kind of some of the wedding stuff was a little bit slow, but we got the best Bortus episode since Mocklin Porn.
Yeah, we did.
We got some really wonderful things. We got the sandwich, man. We got the sandwich.
And there was no universe breaking things. It was just, you guys wanted the sandwich? Here's the sandwich.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, it was just a great way to, if it's going to end, this is a good way to end.
I love what Lamar says that too. When the sandwich shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got the sandwich. That makes me feel better." And he takes it easy, walks away, and Lamar's like, "Ship is crazy, man."
Yeah, we work at a crazy place.
It's a crazy place to work. But yeah, no, overall great. So we're gonna go through it. Let's see how many upvotes we can rack up, boys and girls.
All right.
Oh, I can't do it that way. Here we go. All right. Again, I'm using, instead of Hulu, I'm using a different service. Mike's be a little Yankee. Anyways, we do open up with Lamar and Isaac.
Hey, we got to have this upvote here from the fans. They already gave us one, man.
Yeah, they've already given us 4.
Yeah. For the Popcast existing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking.
It's in there. It's in there, bro. It's in there.
Recognize, man. Come on.
Okay, so Isaac is. I'm just gonna turn the volume on.
When we arrive on the planet.
This is a great opening scene too.
Yeah. So they're going back to that planet with the upvote and downvote people, right?
Yeah, they're going to end up going there. Majority Rules episode to pick up the one character that ended up helping them while they were there that actually saw the Orville at that time.
They weren't going there for that purpose though. They were going there for something else, right?
Not for her. Yeah, they were already en route to. I don't know. I can't remember if they were going to scan or they were going to just check up on it or something like that.
Right. Yeah, they were going there for. They were going there for some scientist or whatever, and that lady popped up. But before we do, we got the Mocklin what's it called?
I'm sorry. Before we went here, that beginning scene was really important. The one that you.
Oh, okay.
Over. So Isaac getting a banana and taking it to Claire.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
There was a big opening scene where he actually walks the entire ship, goes way out of his way to basically deliver her a banana, and then goes back to his post to start his workday.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy what he just went through to give her a banana, how far he had to go, and basically just to hand her a banana. And the reason why they did that was to really balance what ends up happening when they give their vows later in the show, where he says that he cannot love, he cannot show affection, these types of things.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to show that he doesn't need to do this. Claire doesn't need this banana. He's not programmed to do it. This is the heart and soul of who Isaac is.
Right.
And that's why they give it to us in this first scene. So that it sets the stage for why the relationship actually can work.
Right.
So upvote for me.
Okay, upvote for Shane. I'm gonna upvote it too, because at first the banana, I was like, maybe he's just being a weird Isaac,
No, that's later when he talks to Kelly.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, so he gets the ban on. But okay, so here's what's happening. They are going to some planet to do the Mocklin rejoining. Is it the rejoining? Am I saying it wrong?
I don't remember what it was called, but it's basically redoing their marriage. It's like redoing their marriage vows.
Right. It's like redoing the marriage, yeah. And the way it works, let me just be clear. So the
Yeah.
Their friends and their family, they gather around and they redo their vows. And then Clyden is going to run off into the woods naked. And Bortus has to also get naked and run after Clyden. If he catches Clyden, then they have coitus in the woods, and their relationship is back on track. If he doesn't catch Clyden, then it's not a good sign or something, right?
Right. Their marriage vows are not renewed.
Right. And I love.
So he must catch him and forcibly take him.
Right. He must
forcibly be tooken.
He must
because he's fighting back, dude. He's hitting with rocks and stuff.
Look at
that is not pretty. Dude.
I'm upvoting this so hard right now.
Yeah, I'll vote it for me too. This is so good. Look at that. Is so gross. Just watching that run. That's like you or I running around with a thong on. This is not good.
At the end, when they had their forwards together for like that super awkward amount of time.
After it's over and everybody's like, that is so Orville, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, that's what's been missing from this whole season.
It really has. It's been missing this season.
Yeah.
I wonder,
those moments.
Did they, and you got to ask. There it is.
What was the word? What was the word? I can't remember.
It's like something Javorka, something crazy.
Oh, and then they come back all tired, and not from running around.
Yeah. And it was so good because when they stuck their heads together, which I'll show you right. Someone kill those spammers in the chat, please. I can't do it. Can you handle that, Shane?
I got it, man.
Thank you.
Just remove or report? Remove.
Remove and report. Get rid of those suckers.
Get out of here.
Okay. Penny J actually gave it a -1 on the woods scene. We got a negative.
We need to talk about that later. Because Jeremy says something here about the renewal vows. Even though they are single-sex society, they do have male and female roles. It does seem like Clyden is in what we would classify as the female role.
Customarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he sort of does have like the because later on when he's like clapping for Bortus and he's like, "Shut up, Clyden."
Yeah.
This whole scene is just so stupid.
It is great, man.
So when they're all watching them and they stick their heads together, and this was so good. All right, I'm just gonna pause it right there. And customarily, like when you embrace someone, like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Okay, you're done. So all the humans are just sitting there watching them embrace, but they're not moving.
Right.
They're just stuck in this embrace. And everyone's getting uncomfortable. And they're like, so should we go? Or
and then Gordon starts to clap.
And the guy's like,
Gordon's like, yeah. Then Jay Lee jumps in with him. John jumps in.
The slow clap was so good.
It was really great. That's such a great Orville moment. Yeah, I loved that. I had so much great feelings about the show. I mean, I've loved what they've done this year, mostly from a standpoint of effort. Like, I know that the crew, I know that Seth and the entire production team, they really put everything they had into making the season. And even though it kind of deviated from how Orville makes us feel sometimes, it was very good science fiction.
Right.
And now we're back to the finale, so we can get that nice, good feeling as we leave out. And he's really given it to us here.
Yeah, and a good question here is when I wonder how they filmed these episodes, like, because this feels so much like season 2. Like, I wonder if this was filmed before everything else. It wasn't?
No, they film it in order. And he did this specifically because he knew. I mean, look what it's named. It's named the Uncertain Future, I think, or something. That's the name of episode 10. So I mean, I think he wanted it to be a love letter to fans for the final episode, just in case.
It's definitely what we got.
Yeah.
And opening with the the Mocklin stuff is just great.
Perfect. You can never go wrong with Bortus and Clyde, man.
Right. No, you really can't. All right. So so Isaac was inspired by this event, and he decides to look up like traditional human what is it called? Like
ceremony. Yes. Matrimony, whatever it is.
Right.
When you love somebody.
And then he replicates a ring, and he's going to now propose to Penny in the middle of the mess hall.
I wish I could have replicated my wife's ring instead of pay for what I paid for it.
Oh,
it would have been so much easier.
Yeah, especially considering my wife lost her ring like 3 times. I'm upvoting this hard because I like how fast it's moving at this point. Like you said, so it felt like a little long. For me, it's the first episode where I was like, "Oh, it's over."
Well, I think it was the stuff with Kelly and the girl. A lot of that was slow for me. You know, a lot of those long conversations. I know what they were trying to do. I know what she was, but it just didn't really. It didn't. I know you had to have a B story,
right?
And I think if there was a little bit of an issue with the episode, then I would say it was in the B story, and the messaging was actually lighter than I expected it to be because, you know, like Majority Rules, of all the episodes that we've ever seen of the Orville, Majority Rules was probably the most accurate of what's happening here in our society today. Very close, yeah. The vision of our society, we are all at war socially with each other. And I thought, and that's kind of where they wanted to go with this episode, but he didn't want to go heavy-handed because he wanted to leave it on a good note, but also kind of put it out there. Mm-hmm. But some of that does feel a little long to me.
Okay, so I think you're right. Either way, I gave that an upvote because it's great. It's fun. To be honest, if I had to give something a downvote, it would be another scene with this. I'm just so tired of the Kelly sitting around drinking wine scene. It's like every episode.
I am too. I mean, it didn't hurt me. It didn't bother me a whole lot, but it's become part of the show. But I am agreeing with you. It's a 0. It's definitely not an upvote for me.
It's nonstop. Like, we get it. You're an alcoholic. Okay. All right. Stop. Go get help. Yeah. So once again, she's like, I don't know if I should marry Isaac or not, you know, and it's just more drinking. Doesn't matter. Ed comes in and he's like, he immediately goes, "Oh, you're busy. I'm leaving." And he's like, he doesn't want anything to do with this.
I actually really like Seth. I like Ed in this episode a lot. He's more like himself, more like the Ed I think that we had in season 2.
Which is making me wonder when they filmed it, but I guess you said they filmed it in order. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. He obviously can't give any real advice, so he splits. All right, moving forward. This is when we get the call from, is it Lynette? Something with an L?
Yeah, I think it's Lynette.
Okay, let's say Lynette. Lynette calls them on a comm scanner that she stole. And I like this. And
it gave you a little bit of foreshadowing.
Right. I'm gonna give this an upvote because you would think that I would probably downvote it. How in the world is she stealing technology?
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense. And later on, when she actually tries to steal it again, they're like, nah, not this time, bud.
Yeah.
But she steals the comm scanner, and she's been trying to get a hold of Ed, and of course she couldn't get a hold of them because they weren't close enough. Mm-hmm. But because they were on their way to pick up some scientists, which we did never get to that, like. They picked her up, but they did that mission or whatever off book apparently.
Well, or they didn't do it at all. So, and Star Trek was famous for this, being en route for something and then being rerouted to something else. It just they didn't make it very obvious. Usually, Captain Picard would say, "All right, we'll deal with them in 24 hours or whatever," and then they go and do this other thing.
Right.
And they didn't really show us that's what they were doing, but that's what they did.
Okay, that's fair. Either way, I give it an upvote. And she's, basically she's complaining that she hates where she lives. It sucks. Would you want to live there? And they're discussing whether or not they can give her asylum because, like, she's not actually like fleeing from, bodily harm or whatever. And
right.
They come to the conclusion that they're going to give her asylum based on her argument that it sucks there. And that's fine. Cool.
It was LaSalle, by the way, is her name.
I'm sorry, LaSalle. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So here's when we have Isaac head to the engine room, and he's going to get advice on his hopeful upcoming nuptials.
Yeah, John, way to go here, buddy.
I mean, I would expect nothing less from John. Like, frankly speaking.
100%. Yeah, in fact, let's upvote that because that's John's character. And it's actually good advice for anybody who's not a robot or AI.
Right. I love how Ensign Turco, who hooked up with John multiple times, is the one who's like, "No, you're fine, bud."
I don't know what's going on with her. She wasn't looking as good as she normally. She looked kind of disheveled. Did you notice in that scene?
No, I didn't notice.
I'm surprised. That's usually your primary.
I wasn't paying attention to what Turco was doing, I guess. That's the first for me. I'm sorry. I've let the Turco down.
So see the boys. Nice.
See the boys. Claire goes to basically tell the boys that she was proposed to from Isaac, and they were like, "Oh, we know already. It's a small ship." And they're good with it, basically, which is cool, which is very cool. And I don't know if we've gotten this part yet, but I think we did. Basically, she tries to explain to Isaac that he's going to be alive forever, essentially, and she's going to die, at some point and leave him alone.
Right.
And, did he think that through? And he's like, of course. And he argues that he'll be able to take care of her, or he will take care of her offspring and her
future generations.
Generations, which is what a interesting concept. Like, think about this: the Orville can come back in 30 years, and like, let's say someone reboots the Orville, or just brings it back, and we can be talking, dealing with, with some of her descendants, her daughter or something who's a doctor on a ship.
Sure.
And Isaac can literally still be there.
Yeah, somebody else playing him probably, but yeah.
Right, someone else playing him, but it could be Isaac. So, sort of smart to put that person in a costume.
True, but it did have a little bit of an issue. So Claire was on the fence about wanting to marry him until he said he would take care of her future generations. And I thought, what is that? Is that love? Is that, oh wow, I want to marry him because my family's going to be cared for forever. It was kind of like this kind of almost, she didn't want to do it really before that came up.
I mean, I'd marry Isaac.
I mean, I would too, but he probably would take care of things around here really well.
It feels more of a like she was like thinking of the convenience of the factory, which makes sense considering her age and she has kids, and I mean that's probably a factor. Even though the guy can't actually love her because he doesn't have emotions, although his programming was disrupted without her, which it looks like there's some kind of emotion there. Maybe not emotion, maybe his version of emotion, which is interesting.
I mean, he brought her the banana. You know what I mean? That's something that somebody who loves somebody, like I would go out of my way to take my wife something in the morning because I knew it made her happy.
Right.
So regardless of how he did it, she's getting the result of whatever that would be from him.
Yeah. Ken said we were nerds.
We are nerds.
Yeah, that's accurate, Ken. I agree with you.
You knew that when you came here years ago, Ken.
You know we're nerds. Oh, it's Lieutenant Turco now, not Ensign Turco.
Yeah, she got a raise earlier this season.
Interesting. Lieutenant Turco.
Brian's always thinking of season 2 Turco.
Yeah, season 2 Turco. Okay, so Isaac goes to Kelly upon taking Lamar's advice and says, Kelly, we should have sex.
Yeah, what's great is he just asked Claire to marry him. And then he basically goes straight to Kelly and says, let's have coitus or whatever you call
it. Right. Yeah. And she's like, Isaac, we're going to forget this happened. Archmage Frey. They honestly made a mistake with the egg salad sandwiches. they should have used anything but eggs as like the closer here, because there are going to be people that are going to be sending egg salad sandwiches now to Hulu or wherever, and eggs are the worst thing you can send.
They do not hold well.
No, they do not. Pickles are designed to have a long shelf life.
That's right.
Yeah, so she tells her to mess, she tells him to knock it off. She goes and actually tells Penny, and I'm sorry, I know we're skipping this Lisette. What was it?
Her name's
Lacella section, but so you want to describe this because it's not really that important, I don't think.
I mean, it is. It's the B story.
Okay, all right. So, go ahead.
So we already kind of explained it. She's basically, Kelly's explaining to her what life will be like living in this advanced technology that she's not used to. Of course, she comes from like, say, our time frame or our technology, and of course, she's now with the Orville, and she's explaining to her all these different things. And Lacelle's kind of getting a bunch of knowledge, and she'll eventually get, she'll get like the survivor's guilt.
Right.
Like she left her people behind and she escaped or something like that, which I'm not so sure I'd feel that way. I mean, I kind of understood it, but I don't know if I would feel, unless she has, family and friends that she left behind. Then you're going to ask yourself, well, why the heck did you leave?
Yeah, why did you leave in the first place?
Right. So that's kind of what's going on here. And we're building up this B story about how our society currently today on Earth, as seen through the eyes of aliens, needs to get better.
Yeah, what's really interesting is my whole thought process when she was talking was, how would I get that technology to my people, right?
Yeah.
And I thought I would play the part, join the union, get some respect, gain some rank, and then just steal everything.
And then take it over there. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we only had one episode, though.
Right, we did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right, so that's happening. All right, let's move here. Kelly tells...
Oh, yeah. She's mad, dude.
Yeah, she's mad.
Run, John, run!
Run, John! She's like, thank you for telling me. She goes off on Lamar. Well,
Plus one for me on that one.
First Isaac, then Lamar. He's like, John Lamar!
Somebody's messing with her man, dude. Messing up her relationship.
Yeah. She gets
pretty
in his face. I mean, it's pretty on point for John Lamar. Like,
great acting by Dr. Claire there. Great acting.
Penny Johnson Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald. She did a really good job.
All right, Kelly is showing Lacelle the holodeck, or what's it called? Simulator?
Yeah, Lacella.
Lacella? Sorry, Lacella. Okay.
Lacella.
And they conjure up this really sweet planet.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Apparently, these little these creatures that are like traveling in the water or something or whatever it is are actually part of the Union, but they can't actually serve on Union ships because they can't be outside their environment.
Right. That's a pretty cool idea.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
They didn't talk to her though. I found that interesting. Like they didn't have them because like they're really good mathematicians, but they didn't actually communicate with Kelly. But look at that scenery. Like I'm upvoting this.
Yeah, absolutely. Great visuals here. I'll vote for me too. It was gorgeous. I don't know. I guess they just wanted to show us kind of everything they could do. I thought it was interesting that she told Lacella that there's other places that make this place look boring.
Wow.
And I just thought, what could make this place look boring? We haven't even seen that.
Yeah, my question is, why did you take me here then?
Baby steps.
Yeah.
I can't give you everything.
Someone kill that person in the channel.
I got it.
Dude's gonna get us banned.
I know.
The bots are back. I don't know how they found me, but they found me. Run for it, Marty! All right. Sorry, every time I see the bots. All right, so this is interesting. So Isaac goes to the bridge and he asks Gordon because it's a logical choice. Gordon is very comical and, logical person for him to ask to be best man. And I love how Bortus like, actually, I am also very hilarious.
Wasn't that great?
I am highly regarded on my planet as having a good sense of humor, and I will be your best man. It is done.
That was so Bortus, man. And then it showed like an underlying level of his character where he's kind of like either jealous or, there's like this other thing going on underneath Bortus's feelings that we can't see.
Right.
Which was nice.
I love because Isaac is very logical, and they're both logical. They just sort of like, agreed. And they turn around, and Gordon's like, what the hell? What just happened?
I was the best man, and I got scooped.
Right. Very unhappy. All right, so this is good. This is 2 upvotes from me. 2 upvotes. When he called Kaylon Prime, or Kaylon Primary, and he says, I'm getting married, I'd like you to come to the wedding. And Kaylon Primary, would you like us all to come? And he's like, of course. And I'm like, wait. Because we will leave a small force of people on the planet for defense, and we will all make it. And I'm like, what? They're all coming to the wedding? That was so good to me. That was
great.
I was laughing my butt off. Like, and I know it's not gonna pay. They're not gonna pay it off for a while. But the fact, I don't think everyone watching this fully realized that the entire planet of Kaylons are gonna come to this wedding. That's like a billion people, right? It's billions of Kaylons.
Right. When we get the visuals of it, that's when my vote comes in.
Yeah. So good, but so good. And she's showing her the core. It's all good.
This is where it was slow. This is kind of slow. And I feel like there was a lot of exposition about how this Lysella feels about what's happening, about being pulled out, that I thought could have been tightened or we didn't need as much of. And we could have had more of the funny stuff, but overall it ends up working.
Good. Yeah, that core, by the way, just looks real rad.
So gorgeous.
Cool looking core. All right, now, so Gordon is actually really upset that he's not best man.
He's more upset than the Kaylon attack on Earth.
And he's like, yeah,
that's what Ed.
Much more upset.
Much more of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna upvote. We're gonna upvoting because we got the egg salad sandwich.
I want an upvote for him being upset over the Kaylon War, and then I want an upvote for the egg salad sandwich.
Yeah, real good. Okay. All right, so Lynette is Lyselle. Sorry, Lyselle. I know a person named Lynette, so it's throwing me off. Lyselle is talking about why she can't share her technology with her planet because her planet sucks, and they can really use replicators and whatnot, right?
Right.
And they're explaining why they can't. Not only is it against the law, but their planet's not ready for it, etc. And Lyselle gets upset, and she decides that she's going to go to bed early. All right, we're at the bachelor party. All right, Shane, talk to me about this.
This is the way it always works out on TV for bachelor parties. Like, it's always the dudes who end up with the crappy bachelorette party or bachelor party, and the girls end up with the great bachelorette party. Is that not how it always works out?
Yeah, that's how it works out in real life too, because that's how my mind was.
That's how yours was. Well, at least we get more Bortus. Like I said, that's why this episode is so much better than any other. I mean, this is just the best episode since the last Bortus Mocklin porn one. Is we get Elvis Bortus in this episode.
Yes, and
Clyden is, of course, happy in love. He's so great, and it just pays off, and everybody else is terribly bored. So I need an upvote for Bortus on this one. Yeah,
I also like Bortus this episode. That was really funny when he told him to be quiet. Like,
how many simulator rooms do they have?
Well, they have to have at least 2.
Yeah, I was under the impression there was only 1.
Yeah, because they had to reserve it, right?
Yeah, because now they're both in simulators at the same time, different ones. So this is probably the first time we've had confirmed that there's 2 simulators on the Orville.
Wow, luxury of riches over here.
Right. Well, Enterprise had several.
Right.
I think 2 or 3 at least.
I actually have one complaint. I'm not going to give it a downvote, but we didn't get a lot of Dan this season. We did get him in this episode for a bit. We got a lot more of this bubbly head guy.
Wonder why. Yeah, I wonder what happened.
Because you can replace all of the bubbly head scene with Dan, and I wouldn't complain whatsoever.
It must have been. I'm going to guess that it was like a friend of Seth's or some sort of promise, and only so many people who could be on camera. It must be something like that because it makes zero sense unless maybe the guy who plays Lieutenant Dan or plays Dan maybe had other things to do.
And he is like an actual comedian though.
It could be COVID. Oh, really? It also could be COVID related. So perhaps Dan was tested positive when they were filming. There could be lots of reasons why Dan isn't in the season more. That would be a good question to ask Seth if we ever got to interview him.
Sure. All right. So we're at the girls' bachelorette party, and we got they designed a custom program for for Claire.
Well, can I tell you, this almost feels like cheating a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
A little bit, right?
I'm gonna be honest though. If I had a simulator, there'd be a lot more. There'd be multiple of my wives in the same simulator.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if they replicated your wife for the scene for the stripper that comes out and dances, would that be good or bad?
No, my friend.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, would that be good or bad? And how would your wife feel about that?
No, yeah, I would not be happy, and I'm positive she also would not be happy about that.
Well, luckily Isaac has no feelings, so we're okay.
Right. Turco looking Turco-licious.
Well, now she looks put together, yeah.
I'm trying to really massage this player so we don't get copyright claim, but I'm trying to get to that point where there it is.
Oh, there it is. Bam! Gotta upload that one.
The nipple. And upvote for the nipple tassels.
Yeah, listen, whichever designer, show person, whoever came up with this to make this work, kudos to you on the Orville production crew. This was fantastic and just the perfect little Orville touch we needed. Something Trek would never do was perfect for this show and what we've been missing the whole season, frankly.
Yeah, really good. Good stuff. All right. And then, of course, the guy's bachelor party is super boring. Everyone's asleep.
Dude, Bortus looks so great as Elvis, man.
He looks so good.
Peter Macon, dude, you are just my hero. I was trying to think about, who's my favorite character on the Orville? If I'm being honest here, guys, over 3 seasons, I'm going to tell you it's Bortus. Right. Bortus is my favorite character. That's it. Hands down.
Right. I agree. I don't know if he's my favorite character, but he's damn close.
He's my favorite character. I'm honestly trying to think about who makes me feel the best, the most on the show. And in every episode where it's focused on that person, it's generally Bortus who makes me feel good. I like Scott Grimes' character quite a bit. Gordon is wonderful. So I guess it would be between those two.
Right. Same here. So LaSalle tells them that she doesn't feel good about leaving everyone behind, and she's going to take off and go back home. And so they're going to let her for some reason. And
well, she's already seen the ship once, so it's not like a big deal. They probably don't think it's a big deal.
That's true. And of course, she tries to steal a comm scanner again. And this time they catch her. And, that's not vote for me because I'm glad that they learned from their last mistake.
Yeah. Well, they had an alarm that went off. So they were just going to let her walk off the ship. So if something hadn't been captured, she would have stole again.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should have gone through. I don't know.
Very trusting group.
Although Kelly's face here is pretty accurate. Like, really? Come on, bro. And of course, now that she can't take all that tech with her, LaSalle, she's got to take her on the simulator. She's got to show her what happened to another planet with a similar development timeline that got access to that technology before they should have. Which, there's definitely a lesson here. Definitely, probably closer to our society, right? Like, looks very similar.
Yeah, this was a good lesson. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it was meant to say to us. It was more of like a science fiction trope than perhaps something that was a specific message for us. I mean, what technology are we, do we have access to that we shouldn't? I don't think that's the case. I think the message in the beginning was just more, I wish they would have kind of harped a little bit more on, people need to work together. People need to be kind to each other. People need to listen to each other. I would have liked to hear a little bit more of that messaging. I think that's the messaging we need to hear. But this is a very standard science fiction trope about getting technology before you should.
Right. And they got the technology too early, and look what it did to their planet.
Yeah. I'll vote for the graphics. I dug all this.
Good graphics, great graphics. I wonder if getting access to replicators alone would do that though.
She had so much more than replicators, bro. She had scanned all kinds of stuff.
That's true. All right. Now she feels bad and she's going to stay on the ship. If it was me, I'd be like, yeah, I feel bad. And now without the tech, I don't want to go back. That sucks.
Yeah, well, if it was me on the ship, I'd be like, yeah, you're not going back now. How about that?
Right.
Sorry, we can't trust you now.
So this is when all the Kaylons show up. I gotta find
this is my upvote for this moment. This was great.
Yeah, they're like,
Kaylon, I love this.
Sir, there's so many, and there's so many.
They're all coming?
Oh jeez, I can't show the exact moment. But yeah, they all show up and they surround the ship. It's just like
totally
thousands and thousands of Kaylon ships, which is like super frightening.
He's like, alert Earth before anybody gets nervous.
Right.
Yeah. I love this, and actually I'd like to upvote this. I love how Kaylon Primary tells Isaac congratulations. And it cements this permanent Kaylon feeling that we didn't have yet in the show. We really needed a moment after that episode where they kind of become partners or they become allied.
Right.
This really shows us that the Kaylon are now like permanent friends, which I think was really important, or else we would have left us wondering, I think, after this show was over.
Right. Right. I agree with you. Because I actually complained about the last episode when they became union members so quickly. I was like, that was too fast.
Yeah, well, it was temporary union. Remember, the membership was on they had to do some things to become permanent members.
Right. Still felt too fast. Like, why would the Kaylon even want to be members when they no longer have a weapon? There's no reason. Like, there's nothing logical about being members of the union at this point.
Well, but they want to learn from humanity. That's something they have. They do have a desire to like learn more information.
Okay.
So that might be it. I loved seeing Ty there as the ring bearer. It was cool. Good way to bring the boys in. I really was worried about this final episode and how are they going to bring the boys in. You've got Ty as the ring bearer. You got Marcus walking his mom down the aisle. That was really nice.
Right. I loved the fact that all the Kaylon were on one side and the
that was great.
Orville was on the other. I thought that was hilarious.
It's very Orville. Give that a thumb. Give that an upvote too.
Yeah. So in regular weddings, the bride's family sits on one side, the groom's family sits on the other side.
Right.
So it makes complete sense, but it's even more ridiculous here because it's so obvious, like they're all the same, just in a row.
Right.
It's very cool looking.
Fantastic. Perfect.
Yep. And what did you find it surprising that he came out in his Mark Johnson?
So I wasn't sure I felt about this. I ultimately think it was great for the fans, but maybe bad for the actual what would have likely really happened. So this was for us getting this version of him and making it feel more natural.
Right.
That two people were getting married. And I think ultimately it's better. We get to see, I always love it when we get to see Mark Jackson's face. I would have loved if Isaac had been more like this in the beginning, I think. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to then go back and forth and give us the visuals. So yeah, good. So
initially I was like, oh man, that's probably going to be down vote from me, bro. But he never breaks the Isaac character the whole time.
Never. Yeah.
So even though he's in the hollow suit, like it's not Mark Johnson. He's not smiling. He's not looking annoyed. The entire time, even when you would think that he would have an emotional reaction or some kind of like facial tick or something. Nothing. Ever.
Nothing happened, yeah.
He is stone-faced.
And the description of his vows, I thought were really great. The way, very clever, the way Seth or whoever wrote these lines for Isaac, like, I can't love you. I can't, but my circuitry, you make me more efficient, and I want to be more efficient. So therefore I want to be with you, kind of thing. And it was just really, really well done.
Yeah, I agree. Archmage Frey said something I think I agree with. He said, I thought it would have been cool to start as a robot and then convert to human during the ceremony. That would have been pretty awesome.
Oh, that would have been good.
Like during his vows or something,
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Good point.
And they get married. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So Lyselle is pretty much, she's cool now.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, everything's good. She's a friend.
We get this moment. We get the moment we've all been waiting for. There's a surprise coming.
That was nice.
I had to stop myself from not putting this character on the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, that would have been terrible.
I would have people getting pissed off at me, I think. But Alara is back. Alara is back. Temporarily.
Yeah, and that's, it's really great that they did this, but that's just another signal of Seth not being certain, not being. It really tells you how uncertain we are about the Orville getting any more shows. And
I find it even more interesting because like how the interpersonal reaction behind the scenes must have been a very interesting concept, because weren't they on the outs, her and Seth MacFarlane?
Well, they were. Yeah, they dated.
Right,
but that's over now. And it's Hollywood, so.
Yeah, you're right.
Show over situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have taken her eyebrows away one last time.
I like her better with a little bit of eyebrow, though.
Yeah. So yeah, they explain that she can spend a very limited amount of time outside of her her native atmosphere.
Right.
And she chose to spend that time with them, which is very nice.
Yes, that was great and perfect, and a good way to tell us she can't come back permanently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like Seth's like, she can't come back permanently, guys.
Right.
She's like, no, I'm down. No. You can't come back permanently.
Sorry, you're gonna go get weak again. What do you think of their dress uniforms?
I liked them. It felt it definitely has sort of TNG vibes, but way more updated,
Yeah, the white is tough, and that's interesting because sailors have white dress uniforms. They have black. They have dress blues and dress whites. And you're laughing at Bordas' scene. I'm telling you, Bordas is the best character. That's it. Okay, everybody in the comments, I want to know right now. Everybody say who your favorite character is on the Orville, and we'll look at it in about 2 or 3 minutes. I want to see what everybody thinks of all the characters. Who's your favorite?
Bro, he tries to get everyone's attention so politely.
Well, you knew this was coming, right? You knew.
I did, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be an awkward best man speech, but I didn't know he was going to do that thing where he's like, "Excuse me, may I have your attention?"
Right.
Hello?
Well, I knew the "You Will Be Silent" is coming because of the tapping.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
Oh, we're getting it again.
Yeah, but it's very well done on the comedic timing, because they drag this out for a long time.
They do. They ignore him long enough that we're all kind of like
okay, do it
already.
Do it, Boris. He's like, "You will be silent."
Right. So great, dude. So great.
And then his
upload that, please. Upload.
Yeah, we're uploading that. We're uploading that hard. His best man speech.
He's insulting them, right? So he read somewhere where you're supposed to make a joke.
Yeah, at their expense.
Right? You're supposed to say something kind of slightly offensive, and then it's supposed to be haha.
Yeah, it has like a little that might have a little truth to it, right?
Right. And then he basically just slams him and says here, Claire, this marriage will never work out with an AI. And oh, by the way, Isaac, you killed many people during the Kaylon attack.
Right. But then he would wrap it up with, all joking aside.
Yes. And then he'd say, all joking aside, and then move on, dude. It was hilarious.
Like, no one's joking. Everything you're saying is so offensive.
And who's the guy who has to eventually stop it? It's Isaac.
I love that every time you thought he was going to like say that horrible fact, then maybe say something funny to back it up.
Right.
But he'd be like, but all joking aside.
Right.
And Isaac with a set of with a healthy set on him was like, okay, all right, Gordon.
Yeah. So Gordon's going. It's funny. Yeah. So what is Isaac thinking there? Because you don't get a lot of that. Isaac gets played off a lot as kind of being tricked into doing things, sort of, or taking it wrong. But in this moment, he definitely understands what's happening, and he knows to get Gordon to fix the problem.
Yeah,
which they don't do that a lot with Isaac.
I don't think he was offended. I think more so that he was looking at the people around him.
Yes.
He was experiencing their reaction and saying, this is not going well. I picked the wrong person.
Yes.
I can rectify that. The right person's right here. Like, it's a very, very logical choice, I think. I think it was less about him being offended, but he could tell that no one else is enjoying what Bortus is saying.
You know what would have been funny is if Gordon had said here when he picked him, and because he did a little bit, he did the whole like, oh, me? Right? He's been complaining the whole time, like really angry, right? If he would have said, me? Oh, I have nothing prepared. And then like went right into it. Right. If he'd been like, I got nothing prepared. And then went right, that would have been really funny. As it was, he was killed, bro.
Right. Yeah. When he squeezed.
Vote up for Gordon killing.
When he squeezed through everyone and got the boy, he's like, okay, buddy, thanks, man. Yeah. Right. It was good. Yeah, he did really well. I love that. Again, also Mark Jackson, zero reaction while being offended, zero reaction by being complimented, zero reaction. I love it. He played Isaac.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job.
Great. It's also a little off-putting though to see someone else around him reacting so much, and he's just like,
that must be a little bit, yeah.
And then they asked Gordon to sing. Of course,
he sang a lot this season. I mean, we asked him when we interviewed him, "Are we going to get to hear any Gordon sing?" And dude, like every episode after that, he sang.
Right.
And he was it was a lot of it, and he's got an incredible voice,
and which is great. I mean, if you're going out, like if this might be the last season, right? Then it makes complete sense to get as much on the table as you can. And the fact that Scott Grimes and Seth MacFarlane are actually like really good friends in real life, I can totally see him like, let me play guitar a lot, please.
Yeah, and kudos to Seth for he sings really well. And kudos to Seth for not crooning the whole season. He could have done that. It's his show.
You think that he would. Yeah, he didn't even try.
And he didn't do that. He put the attention off of himself. He really made this show because he loves science fiction. He didn't make it to be self-serving, and that's something I really admire about what he did here.
It certainly was not self-serving, though. Yeah, in fact, that was a complaint we had, that we didn't really see very much of, like, Ed. We saw the captain, but we didn't see the character that is Ed, in my opinion, very much. But guess what, guys? That's it. That's the last shot, right? Right through what you're seeing right now. It's probably the last shot of the Orville.
Probably.
So let's jump out of this. No, yeah, I'm gonna leave this screen up while we talk about it. How do you feel about that, Shane? This might be the end.
This could be the end. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, am I okay with this? And I think I am. I don't want it to be this way, but if it ends, I'm not gonna feel like something's missing in my life, like I do with Firefly. With this show, I'm going to feel like it ended for sure. And here's a couple things going on. I inquired recently about whether or not they have broken the set. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get a response. Because here's the reality of the situation is once the set is broke, it's going to be very expensive to put it back together. I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but there's an entire ship built in a hangar on the Fox lot.
Yeah.
And it's It's incredible. Once they break that down, it's going to cost so much money to put it together. And everybody else is off doing new things now. So even if there wasn't, and I will tell you, all of the actors, even Seth, everybody wants to come back and do, the producers, everybody wants to come back and do more Orville.
Right.
But there's going to be a time frame where at some point people are going to be like, look, I got to keep feeding my kids. So people are going to be taking other jobs. So there's going to be a finite window. So this is what I'll tell you. If we don't know something by the end of August, then there's a good chance that it's not coming back.
Right.
I think Disney, starting the 10th of August, in 6 days, when the Orville goes to Disney Plus, they're going to be looking at how many people start watching the Orville on Disney Plus, because the reality is Disney Plus has probably 5 times, maybe 10 times the number of subscribers as Hulu.
Right.
So if people start really watching it and they start getting a lot of feedback and they're like, wow, this is really good, then we could see it happen. But I would say the chances are right now, we don't know anything until that point. And as of right now, I would say it's no until we see the results or we find out what the results of the Disney Plus run is.
Yeah, it feels like I don't see how it works out. No.
It feels that way right now, but it could. There's no reason to stick it on Disney Plus on August 10th. The reason they did that, it's going to be on Hulu and it's going to be on Disney Plus. There's no reason to put it on Disney Plus right now other than to find out if people want to see the show. They didn't get a good sense of whether or not the show is successful on Hulu. You know, and what they're saying is maybe it's not the Orville's fault that it didn't get a good sense of whether it's good on Hulu, because there just didn't have enough people to get access to it. It's like Apple TV, right? How do you decide if any of those shows that they're making are successful when hardly anybody's able to watch them, you know, right, or knows about it or has? I still can't get my Apple ID to work so that I can get stupid Apple Plus, you know? And so Hulu's kind of in that thing.
Shane's been trying to get on Apple TV for like a year and a half.
all my email addresses, like, it's wrong. You put in the code, it's like wrong code. I'm like, what's going on here?
It's been so long since you've been trying to get on Apple TV.
Well, there's a good show out there I really want to see that Robert Meyer Burnett was talking about, and I wanted to watch it. But
so I was trying to find the pictures, and I can't find them. I mean, there's someone on my computer, but we actually, when Shane says there's an entire ship in a soundstage, we're saying that from experience. We were on the ship, that ship,
right.
The ship that we just saw this season. We were on that ship.
It felt like being on a ship, man. It felt like when you go into an airplane. Mm-hmm. It felt like you can't see the outside of the airplane, but you know you're in an airplane.
Right.
And on the Orville, we walked the corridors. We went to the mess hall. We went to the bridge. We went to the medical bay. We went to engineering. I mean, these are actual places, you know, and it feels like you're on a ship.
Yeah. They even have like the catwalks at the top, and like you can walk on them. I remember Tom was like, "Oh yeah, you can walk up there, but don't do it right now."
Yeah.
I really wish that we had taken so many more pictures, but we were technically not supposed to. So
yeah, they asked us not to. It was a really careful situation. They gave us a lot of trust. I mean, I know we signed an NDA, but frankly speaking, what are they going to take away from us or sue us for?
Yeah, we have nothing.
You know, so there's a lot of trust that went out there. We really appreciate Tom
on YouTube.
Right. We appreciate Tom and Seth for giving us the opportunity and trusting us to be able to go around and do that when really nobody else was being allowed to do it.
Right. Yeah. And when they said don't take pictures, and you know, we had to ask, I'm like, can I take a picture of that? Yeah, go for it. Even though we could take a picture of things, we were told not to actually share them yet. So
you probably have the pictures of us in the mess hall, don't you?
That's what I was looking for.
We took some pictures there, remember?
Yeah, we took pictures in the med bay too, in Claire's med bay. And when we were on the bridge, we took a picture of me, you, and Tom, and I can't find it. It's here somewhere.
Yeah, well, we'll share it with everybody when we find it.
Anyways, we were there, though, and it's huge. Like, it's massive. And if you told me that, hey, it's over, we got to break this down, I'd be like, oh, it's not going back up again. Not, at least, certainly not in the same way. So if they've already removed the sets, I honestly don't know, like, if they remove the sets and they still come back, it's gonna be digital. It's gonna be a different ship. It's gonna be completely different.
It'll be tough. I mean, I think they'll rebuild it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think things have to happen here. I mean, Seth has a deal with NBC. Like, he owns the Orville, so he can do whatever he wants with it. But at some point, something has to happen there. He's not going to stay on the Fox lot forever.
Of course not. Yeah. But like, what is it costing them to have that entire hangar basically being used by the Orville? I mean, I
don't know if it's costing them anything other than the inability to shoot something else there.
Right. You know? It's you guys don't understand. It's gigantic. It's bigger than. It's one of the biggest things I've ever seen.
It's like an aircraft hangar.
It's like an aircraft hangar, and it's huge, and it's just like the screen where like the stars and graphics show up outside the viewpoints. Like when you're on the bridge and you're looking out, that's not like a green screen. It's like a screen.
Yeah, it's a screen looking out an actual window.
Right.
So you're walking through the ship, looking out. It's like you're walking through the airplane, looking out the window of the airplane. Except instead of there being glass, it's open.
Right. And there's like a big black thing with stars on it, and
right.
It's so big.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and if you guys notice, every time they went somewhere, okay, on almost all the episodes this season, they went to like an alien base or an alien place, and if you notice, the corridors all looked very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that?
Right.
They lit the same corridors differently for those episodes, and those became different places.
Right.
But those were all on board the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I found the pictures of us on the Enterprise in 10 Forward. And for a minute there, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys.
That was fun.
I thought that was the Orville. No, that's 10 Forward. All right. Anyways. All right, so let's look potentially our final Orville score of all time.
Appropriate.
14. And you guys want to know what the audience score is?
What?
41.
Whoa!
41.
Right. Wow.
41. And I'm pretty sure I accurately recorded all the downvotes too. 41. Not bad.
Well done, guys.
Not bad.
Well done. Let's see who our favorite character was. I didn't get a lot of people in here. Let's see. So Dork Knight said Lamar. Penny J said Gordon. Let's see. Fractured Vision said it's an ensemble cast. Oh, that's a cop out. Fractured Vision. You got to give me your favorite. As you guys go, if you have your favorite, let us know.
Okay, so we're gonna rack this up and move on to the next thing. Thank you so much for watching, and hit that comment section on your way down there and let us know if you think there should be a 4th season of the Orville, or and how you felt about this season. Let us know in the comment section below. Moving on.